Welcome to Table Talk Friday, your weekly dose of D&D banter between three men in a bedroom. If you like their style, come back every Friday for another upload. Now, back to the boys.
I don't know what I would say is the worst release lately.
For D&D.
Yeah. I don't know, possibly... do we have any random expansions that have come out, like a setting book or something that nobody's going to read?
Mythic Odysseys of Theros, I think, really flew under the radar.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it bad.
No, I mean, it's probably pretty good, but I've never heard anyone say literally one thing about it.
I'd say Dungeon of the Mad Mage is a pretty poor release that I only use for, like, inspiration. I mean...
But compared to a lot of the books that sit on the shelf and never see any use.
I do use it,
You
right?
use it frequently, so there's that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't... Based on, actually getting through Spelljammer, I've read a lot of it at this point. And by far, it gives me good inspiration for getting stuff down. But yeah, I mean, just like we said in our review, it's not everything it needs. All I want is more planets. Like, if they had given me a reference guide and been like, hey, here's how you create a planet, boom, I'm pretty satisfied. And here's what other planets could look like. And maybe even give me a few pictures and maps of some planets. Then I would be like, oh, cool. You gave me a 12 to 15 page section on planets. Done. I'm good. I'm just super satisfied.
No, yeah. What they gave you is very, bare bones, sort of figure it out DM.
Right.
It's definitely not a full source book. It's not the DMG of Spelljammer. It's really just the it gives you a little taste, leaves you wanting more. But I wouldn't say that makes it the weakest release in 5th edition. Not by a long shot. I mean,
Hoard of the Dragon Queen got released, so...
Yeah. Well, people say that one's garbage. And
I've looked at how it's, arranged and stuff, and it's kind of doo-doo butter. And then the intro to it as well is like, what? What were you thinking? Like, they introduce a blue dragon at the very beginning, like session 1, that you're looking at, watching it destroy a town, and you basically just get to watch it happen. Like, you can't fight that thing.
Your first level.
Which one is this in?
This is Hoard of the Dragon Queen.
Which is the first module they released for 5e, other than Lost Mines of Phandelver.
Was that really the first one? Because I have never heard anything good about that one at all.
No, Hoard of the Dragon Queen and Rise of Tiamat were horribly reviewed.
But it was like a full 1 to 20, which there really aren't any other...
Dragon Heist, Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Yeah, exactly.
Technically are supposed to go together in the Waterdeep series.
But other than that...
Even then... that one's a bad 1 to 22 because Dragon Heist, I'd say, is the best 1 to 5 we have. I mean, I haven't read the new starter kit that just came out because, we have the first one, then the Essentials kit, and now the new starter kit. I haven't read the new starter kit stuff, Dragon of Stormwreck Isle, I believe.
That's the one.
And I really like Icespire Peak. I'm a big fan of that one. Played through Phandelver really good. Dragon Heist is just so good, though. I love everything they did with that. They fleshed out Waterdeep. They did a perfect thing of being like, hey, this city is your home base. Play in it. It's great.
See, I get mad every time I hear about Dragon Heist because I know it's pretty good. People talk highly of it. A lot of times it's people's first little module they run, their first experience with D&D, right? And as simple as it is and as long ago as it came out, I still haven't played it. And it makes me so mad. I just want to experience it because I've heard so much about it. I kind of know a little bit how it goes, a little bit about the setting, but I haven't dabbled that it just makes me so mad.
Yeah, the bad thing about Dragon Heist is it's called Dragon Heist, and there aren't, heist mechanics or anything in it.
No?
You're not really doing a heist. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to spoil the story for you. There's not really a heist specifically involved. I mean, there's a thing that happens. It's kind of like a heist, but you don't really, get in, get out, did a heist.
So my impression was that the bad guys are the ones doing the heist. Is that not accurate?
Well, it depends.
Okay.
There are 4 bad guys that you can choose from based on the season you choose to run your game in. So
Right.
and each of their stories are wildly different, which is, I mean, it's a great 1 to 5, I'd say. Another 12 session game, maybe even less. You could probably run it in 9 or 10 sessions and get fully through it. And then, if someone does actually want to replay it, it could be pretty much completely different, albeit shorter if they've already seen the side quests.
Are there any modules? Because you made me think of this because of Dragon Heist. I kind of want to do a heist, right? Are there any evil-based modules? I don't think there are.
Well, can I introduce you to the Honey Heist, where you play as
Oh,
bears
gosh.
and you heist honey?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you not heard of the Honey Heist, dude?
I have not heard of the Honey
What?
Heist.
Oh, Zach.
Okay, so the Honey Heist is was it a Critical Role thing or was it separate?
You know, I'm not
I
sure
think it
where
was a
originally
separate
came
thing, like a
from.
DM's Guild thing.
I don't know. It might have been something they used in Critical Role and maybe adapted it to their own.
I think so.
sort of
I'm not exactly sure the origins of Honey Heist, but you basically create a bunch of bear characters, and your goal is to steal honey. I mean, that's it, and that's basically like the overarching thing of it. I haven't read it myself, but I have heard so much about the Honey Heist.
You
Well,
don't want to be bears, Zach. Come on.
I'm
be a bear.
surprised that you specifically haven't, because I feel like you watch the most D&D content and participate in like the most like, community D&D stuff.
Yeah, I feel like it's somewhere in the back of my mind, but I have no idea what it was until just now.
We have to play it. I don't know anything about it, so I'd be down to do the Honey Heist as like one of our one-offs that we've got coming up.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we don't even need their rules. Now I just want to make my bear character.
Right.
My character.
Can you be a Beastmaster bear? So like your companion's a bear. There's just two bears.
No, your companion's the ranger.
I fucking
You
love
pull
that.
you pull a baby ranger behind you on a sled.
I actually love the idea of everyone being the beast of the Beastmasters and all the rangers are with them and you just control them as a side thing. That would be really fun.
Well, you're like the beast that raises the ranger, like they're a kid.
Oh.
And you're the beast that's raising their ranger and teaching them how to do things.
It's like the Jungle Book.
yeah,
You're-
exactly.
You're Baloo.
Exactly.
I feel like any one-off for the most part where I get to play something that's not D&D typical playable races, I'm kind of into. I kind of want to try it. I still want to do a one-off where everyone gets to pick a race of giant and they do some sort of raising of a town or something. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, like you build it from the ground up, like you raise it.
Yeah, like you raise
We
it,
really
just like the
should do,
Rangers.
based on our giant experience, like really should make some giant characters. Like you guys just name them and take some giant stat blocks.
Yeah, well, so now I'm thinking, what if you did just a regular standard campaign, everyone makes characters, but then like 5 sessions in, all of a sudden, like you get out of the starting area, and then you realize, oh, we were giants the whole time. Oh. And there's just tons of small folk everywhere.
You should have saved that and used it on us. That would have been so good. Zach, I would have cried. Like, that would have been the best reveal anybody could have given me.
Well, maybe I won't give it to you, but you listening to this podcast, I'm sure you have friends who don't listen to this podcast.
Please, introduce it to them and have them go to patreon.com/tabletalkfriday, subscribe to the show, and listen to every episode but this one.
Yeah, but after the session, you have to tell them that it was all my idea.
Yeah, all Zach's idea. Oh, yeah, I got this from this guy on Table Talk Friday, patreon.com/tabletalkfriday, and it was so great. Anyways, you should follow them and subscribe to them.
Do exactly that. You have your mission. Go.
Anyways, welcome to Table Talk Friday. My name is Seth Pittman. I'm joined by two lovely friends, Andrew Romano and Zachary Carvon. How are you boys doing today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm full of an omelet and a rather large sloppy Joe, so I'm a little sleepy over here.
Yeah, on a scale from like 1 to 9, I think I'm at a 5 right now.
I think I'd put myself in like that 6 to 7 range. Like, it's been a good day.
Why are we 1 to 9ing right now?
What do you mean?
What? But why 1 to 9?
Well,
Why not?
It might not have anything to do
Have
with
you
the fact
ever had a
that
10 day?
Yeah.
True. I mean, no, I've had a 10-day.
I don't know if I've had a 10 day. I mean, I can't name a 10 day.
I mean, I can't name off the top of my head, but I feel like there's definitely some days where I'm just feeling good. You got the windows rolled down, driving down the highway, got the music playing. That's like a 10 kind of
there's
day.
got to be a day in there that was like a 10. I just couldn't name it, and I'm probably never going to recall it. So, is it really a 10 day if it's not like my favorite day? Can you? I couldn't pick my favorite day.
I mean, as a kid, you've had plenty of 10 days, and it was always Christmas. In America, every American child says Christmas is
You
their
wouldn't
10
say
day.
you wouldn't say a lot of those Christmases weren't 9s because you were missing 1 or 2 things.
No.
Oh, I would. I think I had one Christmas go from a 10 to a 9. It was the Christmas I got a 3DS. But it was definitely a 9 because one day, probably 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas, I logged into my GameStop Power Up Rewards account. And I logged in, and my mom had put all the games that she bought for me for Christmas on my GameStop Power Up Rewards account, so I could just see all the points I earned. So I knew every gaming item she got me for Christmas, and I didn't mean to. I opened it up and I saw it and went, oh. And I started scrolling because I was curious.
Of course.
Oh, no.
As any child does. And I knew everything I got for Christmas, so I had to act like I didn't know. I still haven't told her that. I need to call her and tell her that. Not now. But, geez. I that was definitely a 9 Christmas because I knew literally everything. I mean, I had another 9. I'm not going to go on about my 9 Christmases.
Well, now I want to talk about my 9 Christmas.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Because, well, it's similar in that it's also about a video game. But I remember it was the year we already had a Wii, but Donkey Kong Country Returns was coming out.
A banger.
I love Donkey Kong Country. I think that was one of the first video games I've ever played. But anyway, so me and my brother were super excited because they had like the co-op thing in this game, and we were gonna have such a great time with it. But boy, howdy, we could not get along playing that game.
I can see that.
Yeah, well, because you get to be Donkey Kong or you get to be Diddy Kong. And Diddy Kong is objectively better than Donkey Kong.
I see.
But the way the game's designed, they really don't want you to be playing together at all. They want Diddy Kong to sit on Donkey Kong's back and do nothing. So that's what it quickly devolved into was, hey, get on my back so we can get through this hard platforming section. And I don't know, 11-year-old Zach was not having that. I didn't ask my mom to pay $60 for this game for you to tell me to sit on Donkey Kong's back.
I gotta play Tropical Freeze at some point. It's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, it is.
Which one's Tropical Freeze?
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. It's on the Switch. It's the Switch version, and it's supposed to be really, really good. Like one of the best platformers out there.
I would love to go back and play some different Mario games or even just some basic Nintendo games. But whenever I think of old Mario games, I just want to play Yoshi's Island again. That game was a banger. That was fun.
I started up Yoshi's Island for the first time a couple of weeks ago on my Retroid, and that game pretty fun. I played through the first couple levels. What I don't like is the way that they make you do the level select. It kind of took me out because I played the Mario World games. You're actually walking on an overworld.
Yeah,
and that kind of keeps me in the like. I don't know, I feel more immersed, I mean, I get it. It's a little platformer sprite game, but whenever I go to the Yoshi Island's like screen and it's like pick level 2 to level 3, I'm like, where am I though? Like any game that makes me do like a level select now, I'm like, I want to know where and how and why. I need a story. And there is a story. He's taken baby Mario back to his mom and dad, who objectively shouldn't be there. But yeah, I don't know. Yoshi's Island, I think it's a banger, but I haven't played all the way through it.
Yeah, I never got that far in Yoshi's Island either, and I think part of the reason is it's Super Mario World 2, but it's nothing like Super Mario World.
Exactly.
And I love Super Mario World.
Oh, that game's so good. I started replaying that recently too. Like, got through the first world, and I was like, yes, this is everything I wanted it to be and more.
One of the newer Mario games, it was... I mean, not newer per se, but it was one of the newer ones on the Wii when it came out. It was the one where you had to
still new.
Yeah, it's totally.
15
it was like
years
last
ago.
Week. To me, that's one of the newest ones I played, to be perfectly fair, so I guess it is kind of newer to me, I guess. But it's the one where you get the little hats or you get the little...
the propeller hats.
You had to...
You're talking about...
New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Yeah.
So you had to shake it and you had to fly around. The problem is it was 4-player. And I actually tried to do those levels with 4 people. I think it ruins friendships. It
sure does.
Yeah.
Zach's brother
Yeah.
Eric and me, we could not play co-op games in that era because, Diddy Kong at that point, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. But my brother would just pick me up and throw me in any pit while we're playing New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Like, we could not get through even the second world. Because we were just at each other's throats that much. Which, in the first place, why do they let you do that? Who at Nintendo said, yeah, you know what? In this cooperative game, we're going to make it so easy for you to fuck the other guy over.
Because that's what makes it fun.
I mean, seriously, yeah. Now, that would be such a blast.
I would love to do that with you guys,
But I had to get it out of my mind that we're playing together. If we agreed to play against each other, I would have been having so much fun.
Yeah, I just recently played a co-op game because I have a little cousin, and he was over hanging out with me, and I recently played through Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Oh my god, is that game amazing! Like, it's only 16 levels. Like, you can beat that game in like 2.5, 3 hours, like tops.
That's ideal, honestly.
Exactly, 2.5, 3 hours tops. You've beaten the story mode, and then you can go to the arcade mode. Well, you can do the arcade mode from the beginning, I believe, but it plays like an arcade game where it takes you through the levels, and you have a specific number of lives. If you lose them all, back to the beginning, idiot. And there's hard modes. There's so many different characters to play as. There's collectibles to get through the entire thing, and playing it like an arcade game made me feel like. I mean, I didn't play a lot of arcade games as a kid, but I was like, this is retro, this is cool, but it's a new game. Oh, I don't have enough good things to say. I liked it more than I liked Shovel Knight this year. Like, oh, so much fun.
I still don't know anything about the premise of Shovel Knight. All I know is that someone went through and played the game and beat it without the shovel, which I think is mind-blowing considering it's called Shovel Knight.
I don't know how you could do that.
I don't know. Someone did it. I watched a playthrough, had no idea what was going on the entire time. It was pretty legit.
Shovel Knight's a great game, and honestly, you say that you don't get the concept, but I think you do. He's a knight who has a shovel.
Here's all you need to know. Shovel Knight needs to save Shield Knight. Done.
Shovel and Shield?
Yeah, they're partners in crime, basically. And
Yeah.
Shovel Knight, that's the premise, is Shovel Knight needs to save Shield Knight. Done.
Okay.
And it's a cool 16-bit game where you have to go save Shield Knight somehow, and you don't even know how or why.
I just think it's funny that his weapon's a shovel. Like, where would a knight get a shovel? Why would he be wielding that? There's a million other cool weapons that a knight would have,
you should meet
but
all the
shovel.
other knights in the game because he fits right in.
Yeah, Shovel Knight lives in a world where things are meant to be shoveled. Like, this is clearly, the need creating the demand for a Shovel Knight. But, like, everything in that game is built around you shoveling things. I really think, to be someone who lives in the world of Shovel Knight, to not have a shovel is really just a disability. Like, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, honestly. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Shovel Knight and all of the things he can do, the spells he can cast. What we are here to talk about is the spells we can cast at 5th level in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. It's another frequently cast spells, boys, and I think 5th level is one of my favorites because they just have so many banger spells. Like, right after 3rd level, I think 5th level is like that next big milestone. Because, 4th level is great. You get a lot of good things at 4th level. 5th level has some of the coolest spells in the game.
Well, and so I think 5th level is around the time that you get these spells that, we call this series frequently cast spells, but there's so many spells from this tier. Like, you only get to this level so often, and you only get to pick so many 5th level spells.
That they're not really frequently cast anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But each one of these, not every 5th level spell, but a lot of them start to carry a lot more oomph. There's a weight to you cast that 5th level spell. You've got like some, low level god powers at this stage.
And I do want to say, I think it's very cool that we are talking about this now. The last episode we just did was actually about Spelljammer and how they're mixing up.
Oh, yeah, never mind. I was going to say it was 1D&D. It wasn't. It was Spelljammer.
Actually, you're wrong.
Actually.
The reason you said 1D&D, though, is because there's still more to talk about. There's so much stuff happening recently,
yes.
guys. I don't know when you're listening to this, but everything is changing in the world of D&D
Hopefully
right
on
now.
release date a week early at patreon.com/Table Talk Friday.
But yeah, it's very exciting that we're talking about this now because we don't know what the future holds for Magic right now. Everything got kind of changed around in Spelljammer. Things are being reclassified, possibly reworked. We don't know where it's going. So who knows? This could be the last time anyone talks about spells ever in D&D.
Well, considering we have 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th levels to go, I don't think so. And also, they're not taking away the level system.
You don't know that, Seth.
I do know that. There's no way they're taking away the level system.
Look, Seth, if they really want to know, they can go back and click back on our last episode, the Spelljammer episode. Go ahead and click back right now, guys. I'll just pause for a moment.
Well, and if you want to talk about those changes, go back to the 1D&D episode. That's
Thank
where
you,
it's
Seth. If you weren't going to say it, I was going to say it.
Yeah, we don't talk
you're
about that
right.
at all in Spelljammer.
You guys got me. Go ahead and click back 2 episodes. I'll give you guys 10 minutes. We'll just sit in silence for a moment here while you guys listen to those episodes.
They were they were way longer than 10 minutes, my guy. I don't know where you're going with this.
Listening to it at 5 times speed, and it still wouldn't be enough.
Anyway, we're going to talk about some 5th level spells now, and I hope you boys have some prepared, some ready in your mind. But I think I'm going to go ahead and start with what's the quintessential and honestly most boring 5th level spell, but it's definitely the most frequently cast. I think you boys both know what I'm talking about.
Scrying.
No.
Oh,
that's
beans.
a great one.
Okay.
That is a good one. But no, Cone of Cold.
Oh,
Ooh.
best villain spell, I would say, to take for a 5th level one. Because I feel like Cone of Cold, while you can get some very powerful lower level spells to become better spells by upcasting them, I feel like Cone of Cold is the perfect one to have your enemies like frequently casting. Because we've used hags before. And especially
Burr
hags, exactly. Burr hags using that Cone of Cold. Oh, so perfect. I mean, they get to cast it 3 times a day, so just let them cast it 3 times in a row. Why don't you? Let them kill your players right away. No, I think Cone of Cold is a quintessential general enemy spell, as well as, just give it to your wizard. Or if if you have a wizard that is that's an enemy that's going to be casting against you, you just say they have Cone of Cold, because it's a very good and powerful, may I say, 5th level spell.
Yeah, so the reason why I say it's probably the most boring of the 5th level spells is it's kind of the base level option. It's like a fireball, except it's a 60-foot cone.
Giant cone.
Yeah, so it covers a huge area. It deals 8d8 cold damage, which it's nice so you make a con save against it versus a dex save. And cold damage is a little bit more uncommon than fire damage, so it's got some nice ways that it edges out fireball. But at the same time, if you've ever played Pokemon and you're the kid who just every time you get a new move, if it doesn't do damage, you skip it, go on to the next one. It feels like the next damaging spell in that tier list. So 3rd level, you get Lightning Bolt and Fireball. 4th level, there's not like a great next option, but then, 5th level, I get Cone of Cold. It feels like the next step there.
But, do you have anything to say about Cone of Cold, Drew?
Well, I feel like you have to have Cone of Cold just because there's not a ton of ice or cold-based magic in the game. So if you want to be some sort of cryomancer, some mage that actually specializes in this type of elemental magic, this is the best option. It doesn't get any better than this. That's it.
With our specific table rules, though, I would say that our table rule that I kind of let you guys switch up elements if you choose to. You could very well have a big ice ball you cast instead of fireball. I wouldn't say it's more optimal by any means, but and that's why I say that I don't care if you switch up elements as long as it makes sense for your character. I would like to introduce a spell though that I would say is one frequently cast based on not only we've seen it in Critical Role, but also we've had it at our table many times, and it is the other damaging spell you can take at 5th level, and it has many other uses as well, but that's Bigby's Hand. I mean, come on. This is if you're gonna take this or Cone of Cold over Bigby's Hand, I don't want to be at your table anymore. Because one, you can already upcast your fireball for a ton of damage. I mean, you can that would be 10d6 of damage as opposed to the 8d8. You're losing a max of 4 damage.
Exactly.
From your fireball. So and of course it's cast differently. Take Bigby's Hand. You get a large hand of shimmering translucent force in an unoccupied space that you see within range. The hand lasts for the spell's duration and it moves at your own command, mimicking the movements of your own hand. Now you get a ton of extra abilities to go with this. It can force things backwards, like pushing them. It can grab onto things, which it's a large hand, so it's very good at grappling. An interposing hand is an ability I don't think I've ever used, but it's pretty cool. Hand interposes itself between you and a creature and choose until you give the hand a different command, basically like blocking you. Bigby's Hand, super cool. Deals damage as well. And we talked about, getting those god powers at 5th level. This is literally giving you a big hand of the gods.
Now, the interposing ability, people don't use it a whole lot because there's a lot of good ones on there, but I believe it actually gives people disadvantage or at least gives you half cover or something like that against an enemy. It's a defensive sort of mechanic. I believe the spell says you, But I'm always down for turning spells into a more supportive option. I love the idea that you're using Bigsby's Hand as your bonus action to block the main fighter, the main barbarian in the front of the combat.
Yeah, and
really
I'd let
helping
it
them out.
happen.
I think that'd be pretty sick.
I mean, it wouldn't make sense that you couldn't interpose it between someone other than yourself. But I forgot to even mention how much damage it does. As a bonus action, you can move it 60 feet, and it can do 4. I was going to say 8d8, 4d8 of force damage for your bonus action. So not only are you still, casting your fireball at 5th level, of course, to get 10d6 of damage, but also your bonus action is another 4d8 of force damage that can last for up to a minute. So, I mean, it's more optimal, too, if you have it up for more than one turn.
Yeah, and so what I like about Bigby's Hand is, first of all, the flavor, the idea of, especially if you're a wizard who casts Mage Hand all the time, the idea that, okay, my Mage Hand is leveled up, this is Bigby's Hand, and it's got multiple purposes. It's like a spiritual weapon where, you get that bonus action attack, but you can use it to be an obstacle in your enemy's way. You can use it to draw fire because it can be killed. And you can also use it as a grappling or crowd control sort of spell. There's a lot of other spells that do similar effects to it, but it's sort of a Swiss Army knife where you pull it out and then you decide, all right, well, I'm going to use it for this and this and this, and it only costs 1 5th level spell slot.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love it, and I like flavoring it to where it's different parts of the body too, like a foot. Or like if you have horns, it could be a pair of like antlers or something like that. Like being able to restructure that ability to make it more flavorful and fun. Well, it could, if it's cool enough, it could even be like an elbow. Just make it your elbow, Bigby's elbow.
And I think that really speaks to how frequently this spell's actually cast, because there's so many different ways to flavor it and so many different uses. It's just a very solid spell. If you're a fan of Critical Role, you know that one of Scanlan's favorite spells and most frequently cast spells, period, is Bigby's Hand, and he uses it great all the way through the campaign. It's just a solid, phenomenal spell.
It can't get down a door, though.
No, it can't get down a door, but no spell can do that, except maybe... No, I'm not going to say it. Moving on to the...
Wait until frequently cast spells 9th level.
Ooh, upscaled knock, guys. But what I want to say was, it was so frequently cast in the first season that when you go into the second season of Critical Role, they use it again because it's so good, but they totally reflavor it. They don't even call it Bigby's Hand. It's like Cat's Maw or something like that, and Caleb ends up taking it later. So it's very cool, very useful all the time. But... I'm going to jump in with one of my own spells. This spell is not those frequently cast spells amongst players, but when you get into a place like Descent into Avernus, I expect a lot of the demons and fiends to have this spell dominate person. So,
if not the spell, they have an ability like it.
It's very true. So it's a little situational in a sense like that, where it could be an ability, it could be a spell. You don't know if you can counterspell it, that kind of a thing. But it's ingrained in evil characters. Evil mages, evil liches, things like this, they have these abilities where they can control you, they can manipulate you. And this, I think, is probably one of the best ways to do it. So right off the bat, you force someone to make a wisdom save. If they fail the save, you're essentially charmed, but this is not a charm person charm. This is a full minute. They are dominated. They are under your control, period. You can make them do anything you want. You can use your full action, if you'd like, to actually embody them. I imagine it's almost like a simulation where you look down and you see their arms, but it's just you, So you can dominate just about anything except for monsters at this point. So anything that's humanoid, you can control it. Any cool villain that you're up against, if you don't like one of their abilities, steal it. Use it against them.
Joke's on you, DM. I like being dominated.
Oh, no.
I was waiting so long to say that. I was like, I got to make my joke. Come on. When's my joke going to come up?
Now, I will say, before this episode, I actually thought Dominate Person was weaker than I had read it, because I thought you had to actually control the person the entire time the spell was being cast, right? So I thought you had to use all of your actions, trade your actions for theirs. That is not true. You can use your action to, quote-unquote, dominate them and use their full turn and their capabilities. But as a free action with the spell, while they're under your control, you could just tell them to do things. It doesn't say it necessarily has to be on your turn. You could just tell this person to run away, to drop their things, go grab something for you. Oh, we're going to kill your friends. Could you just run 1,000 feet away so that when we're done, we could fight you afterwards? It's crazy.
Now, I do like Dominate Person. The reason it's not frequently cast by players specifically is because it only works on humanoids. So
Right,
that makes it a lot less
it-
fun for those higher level characters because you can't use it on a dragon.
Yeah, exactly. When you get to that certain level, you're not going to be running into too many bandits that you want to dominate, you know?
And if I want someone to run 1,000 feet away, I can cast Suggestion and just say, hey, how about you run 1,000 feet away? They make the same save and then they have to do it.
That's true. I believe Suggestion lasts for a short time, though, which another cool part of this feature is you can upcast it.
I believe it's 8 hours if they listen to
Suggestion?
I know they have
Don't
to
look at
listen
me.
for quite a long time. Here, I'll look it up. You guys keep going.
But either way, the coolest part, I think the best part of this spell, period, is you can upcast it at a higher level. So the first one, I believe, is a minute. You can upscale it to 10, an hour, or 8 hours as a max before you double it as a sorcerer, might I add. So there's no saving throws on this unless you take damage. So if the enemy casts this on your barbarian friend or one of your buddies and the fight ends, they can walk away with your friend and your friend will just leave. That's it. They're gone.
Suggestion, concentration up to 8 hours.
Ooh, okay, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But Dominate Person allows you to actually control the person.
Oh,
which I
yeah,
think
yeah.
is really,
Super
really
cool.
sick.
It's
Very
a great
unique.
spell.
Yeah, and I think Dominate, I mean, just the words, I think, speak for itself in a sense, but
Oh, yeah.
the spells like Dominate Person really sell to me. Like, you can make an argument for a lot of, like, schools of magic being the most evil, but, you know, and necromancy is obviously the one that everyone points
it's a
to.
stigma. It's a stigma.
Yeah, but there are, you know, spells like Raise Dead and Reincarnate that are, you know, positive necromancy spells. I feel like Enchantment is easily the most insidious kind of spell.
Oh, absolutely,
yeah,
dude.
There are, you know, there's a lot of things that you could do with Dominate Person that, you know, that you don't want to come up at your D&D table. So it may be better in some cases to not let your players cast this.
Oh.
But it, you know, it's just, it's nasty. Like, I don't want to have to come up against the person who uses this spell, you know? Like,
Well-
that's an evil person.
I mean, and you guys will remember whenever one of our characters, Chalathander, was dominated by a lich when walking into his lair as he tried to flee. He was like, nope, I'm not going to be here anymore, dominated, and he's forced to come in.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, those moments are scary whenever you don't exactly see the enemy. Like, you know they can see you, but you can't exactly see them. And then all of a sudden, one of your characters is just okay with something they were totally against 5 seconds ago.
Your only choice at that point is to beat up your friend. That's it.
Beat
That's
up
all you
your
can
friend
do.
or listen to the person controlling him.
No, I hate that. That's the worst.
So, on to the next spell that I'm kind of into, and that we've seen a lot of use in recently. We're just going to go straight into scrying. Because
Go
I
for
feel
it.
like scry is a go-to D&D spell. Like, if you're in, like, the D&D zeitgeist, you kind of know what scrying is. And let me just, if you don't know what scrying is, I'll give you just a short once-over. Basically, you can use it to look in on somebody for a certain period of time, or a certain being or place that you want to check in on. So say I met Drew at Walmart today, shook his hand, got his name, we hung out for a little bit, we're a little bit familiar with each other, and later tonight I'm like, oh, you know, I wonder what Drew's up to. And I cast scrying into my crystal ball, and now I'm looking in on Drew in the bathtub, hanging out, doing his nightly routine, and he's none the wiser.
Which is creepy. Maybe arguably creepier than Dominate Person, perhaps?
Yeah, well, you know, Dominate Person is more of an invasion of one's mind, while I'd say scrying is an invasion of one's space.
Yeah, and so scrying, again, I would also argue...
Poetry.
That was pretty
Oh,
good.
was poetry,
100%.
thank
Yes,
you.
poetry. Thank you. Scrying is not an enchantment spell, but it's definitely another one of those villain spells. Like, if you think about anyone who looks into a crystal ball, like, you know, maybe you'll end up with
Mirror on the wall.
yeah, you'll end up with a good wizard, but this is the, you know, the thing that witches friggin', you seen the Wizard of Oz? She looks into her crystal ball, or her was it a cauldron even? you look into the mirror, you look into the, you read the leaves, and then the scene opens up and you see.
I imagine dragons looking down into a pool of water or something like that.
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
a pool of lava or acid, and they see the future.
Yeah, I think in Harry Potter there was even like a
Future. I'm so stupid. I mean, scrying on someone else.
but there was a water basin or something, I'm pretty sure, in Harry Potter too. So it's a quintessential spell, but this is, I think, used at its best. I mean, players can use it, of course, but there are spells that powerful villains would have to counteract it. But I think it's best used to show how in control a villain is. Like, that they meet the party up front, and it might even seem strange that they decided to reveal themselves so early, but little did you know, they went there with a purpose. They took something of yours, and now they're going to watch, and they're going to see what your party's good at. They observe their mannerisms, their behaviors, and then later on in the campaign, and of course there are wisdom saves that had to be made here when the villain's doing this scrying, so maybe your players start to catch on. Hey, roll a d20 for me. Yeah, why are you asking me to do that? All of a sudden, there's this paranoia. It feels like someone's watching you. And then finally, at the end, you as the DM get a license to metagame and and build a counter for all your players, because in world, that's what the villain was doing.
Yeah.
At my table, I've definitely asked my players before to make random wisdom saves, just so they're aware that people are looking at them right now. Just the villain is watching them at this current time, so they should be worried and careful what they're saying.
And if you don't like the idea of your players catching on to that, though, or you play at a table where a lot of metagaming is involved, maybe whenever they make a wisdom save against something, you also use that as their wisdom save for a scry spell that went off, or vice versa. You have them roll again for some unknown reason.
That's true. That's
like
true.
at the same time as they make a current wisdom save, or be like, you know what? Can you just roll with blah blah, or you roll it twice or something like that? I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a good way to hide it from your players, because I feel like scrying is really fun whenever there's always that looming threat, like when you guys met the villain of Storm Kings for the first time, and then from then on, it was in my head, it's like she's always looking in.
Well, that's a big fear factor of scrying, though, is never knowing if someone's actually looking at you.
Exactly.
But
you make them roll a wisdom save, it means nothing sometimes.
I want to say one more thing about scrying, and it's actually, I think, my favorite part about scrying. It's not even necessarily the metagaming, which kind of pulls you out of the game. For me, scrying actually pulls me into the game, because it makes me, it reminds me that the DM has a world going on here. What I'm doing right now, yeah, sure, it's blatant and I'm doing it, I'm actively seeing it happen, but there's a whole lot of other stuff going on behind the scenes. So even if the DM makes up something totally random that I see, I asked the DM to check in on something, and he told me what was going on. Like, the world is actively moving while I'm playing it. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is that voyeuristic quality to it. Like, you could cast it in, a not super important way. It's like, I asked someone to mail this letter. Let me scry on that. See how it's doing.
That wouldn't happen.
Fantasy tracking.
Yeah, I mean, something like that. I'm going to talk about another super common spell, and I think this is probably the quintessential 5th level spell. It's definitely the most cast by NPCs, and that's Raise Dead. This spell is... just like Revivify that you get at 3rd level, it's used to bring people back to life. It costs a diamond worth at least 500 gold, so that's the entry price for this spell.
Yeah, a steal, honestly.
Yeah, and so it takes an hour to cast, but at the end of the hour, you raise someone back from the dead, and essentially, as long as they're in a bodily form that can still be revived, then you bring them back, and there are some inherent issues that may arise. Also, the corpse must only be dead for no longer than 10 days, or the spell fails, barring other magical workarounds like gentle repose and things like that. So when they come back to life, they say coming back from the dead is an ordeal. The target takes a -4 penalty to all attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks. And every time the target finishes a long rest, the penalty is reduced by 1 until it disappears. So this is not something that you can't whip it out in combat. I mean, it takes an hour to cast, but this is a good quest spell. Like, shit, Steve's character, bless his heart, he just loved him so much. We're going to go on a quest to find someone who can cast Raise Dead and bring him back. That's what I feel like this spell is most often used for. But when you get to that higher level, clerics can do it too. So it's definitely frequently cast, I suppose. And I know there are some tables that have like ideas about, well, I don't want my characters to be, or my players to be bringing themselves back from the dead all the time. But I think you got to have it there. And it's not powerful enough to be anything more than 5th level. But this is what I mean when I say, like, low-level god powers, like raising the dead. That's pretty incredible that your character could do that.
So I do have a slight problem as our main DM, in the fact that Revivify makes so much sense to me, where it's like that you have a minute to defibrillate this person and bring them back with divine magic. That's cool. Love it. Raise Dead bothers me just a little bit, only because, one, it's only 200 more gold to cause, in diamonds, of course, so you have to have diamonds specifically, but at the same time, if my player takes it, well, now I want to give them diamonds, because if they just have this spell in their inventory or like ready to go all the time, and they're wasting a spell slot on it, I feel kind of like a bad person for being like, they're like, hey, I'm going to go to this random jewelry shop. Any diamonds, DM? No. And you tell them no every time? Well, now I'm just an asshole. But yeah, I definitely would like, maybe they'll expand on it a little bit in 1D&D or something, or give some optional rules I can take up. Just some other ways that we can handle life and death with these bringing back to life and dying rules. And maybe we'll do a whole episode on it in the future, like just talking about that, because I feel like we sit on a little bit different places when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll cover it in a separate episode, but I think you can't have a game where there are spellcasters of a certain level, and this isn't like the type of magic that you can get into. But I do like there to be consequences. It makes sense, and that's why I do like Raise Dead. Is they do have that built-in. Well, yes, you can bring them back, but it comes at a price, and it is taxing on the person that you bring back. Similarly, I'll just bring up Reincarnate, which is also a 5th level spell, very much like Raise Dead, but it's only cast by druids unless you get it from some other means. And unlike Raise Dead, it costs rare oils and unguents. I don't even know what that is.
Ooh, essential oils?
Yeah. You put the essential oils in your diffuser, and it costs 1,000 gold, which is consumed in the spell. And then you roll on a D100, and randomly the person you cast it on does come back to life, but as a different race, which, again, consequences,
which all players
right?
take well.
Yeah. Oh no! I feel like this is some shade being thrown at me. So I will bring up briefly our one experience with the Reincarnate spell, and the reason why I like it, but I don't. I like it a lot more now, actually, but we'll get to that. So in Storm King's Thunder, my character and our good friend Sean, Firefighter Eric, his character, we both died in this magical place in the Undermountain, and through some magical shenanigans and trickery rigmarole, we did come back, but through the means of the Reincarnate spell. So we changed our races. The reason why I don't like this spell is it does change your features, which there are some racial features that I feel like, yeah, that doesn't define my character, but as written in the player's handbook, it also updates your stats, which that's sort of my issue there is, well, I didn't feel like my character really had any. I came back as a Dragonborn, and I didn't feel like they really had any connection with that race, so I felt a little divorced from my character because the features that I was getting were sort of removed. With 1D&D, though, that all goes away. A lot of the the personal features of your character are now tied to their background, and you wouldn't lose your stats at all. You just change your appearance and a few racial pieces as well. But also all the races are very well balanced, so I don't think that you'd really be losing anything there. But it's definitely one that if you're going to cast it, you need to consult with everyone there, because someone might not want to come back from being a human and then be turned into a dark elf or a halfling or a tiefling.
So while I've never actually seen that spellcast ever, I think honestly if a player really wanted to use it that bad, I think I might even let them keep their features, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I might would make a different call on it now, but I think at the time I wanted there to be consequences for the fact that like a dumb decision was made in my eyes, like a dumb decision was made. And so I was like, okay, well there should at least be like some repercussions for dying here, like for getting yourself killed. And so in my head I was like, yeah, well, you still get to be your character, but these things change. I might look at it a little bit differently now if the same thing was happening, because I only wanted them to stay alive because we were so deep in the campaign that it was like, oh, we only have like not that many sessions left, like half a dozen sessions left. I don't want this to be the last, like them have to make new characters for the last like 10 sessions.
Look, any reason to use a spell like this that's never used ever for any reason, if you can make a minor tweak and get it to used,
and there were some optional rules for the Undermountain that I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense in my head to why this would go down story-wise, because if it didn't make sense story-wise, then I wouldn't have done it at all. But then I was like, oh, wait, this kind of makes sense given the locale you're in. If this had happened in, Groothog, who cares? Like, you're dead.
Right. Well, and we were also at the level where, none of our other party members had raised dead, but
Right.
it wouldn't have been that tall of an order to, we've got friends in high places, and, we know a million people who could cast that spell.
Right.
So if it didn't happen there, it would have happened elsewhere.
But if you wanted to go elsewhere, Zach, you could always cast the teleportation circle spell. Just want to throw that out there.
And
Well, Drew, why don't you tell me about
Yeah, what
the
would I use
teleportation
that
spell?
for?
Oh, well, you could teleport anywhere you'd like. So
Anywhere,
actually,
really?
Anywhere. Just
Really,
totally
anywhere? I don't need, like,
ignore
a
the
phone
entire
number
spell.
or
No,
anything?
No, definitely don't need that. So for this one, the reason I get so excited about it is because as an up-and-coming mage where you're learning all these new spells, you want to get stronger and stronger over time, especially maybe as a wizard where you're learning all these new things, maybe 2 per level. Teleportation Circle is your first really, really good mobility spell. It lets you teleport where you need to go with some criteria. So it's not the full-on teleportation spell, which I believe you get at 7th level, right? Where you basically go anywhere you want. It doesn't totally break the game yet. However, it gives you a little dabble, a little sprinkle of teleportation magic, which is very liberating. So with this one, it takes a minute, and you can cast Teleportation Circle that creates a small arcane circle that allows you to teleport to a more permanent teleportation circle. Now, I'm going to make the distinction here. The permanent teleportation circles you can only create by casting this spell every day for a full year.
Easy
peasy. So it also gives it a little bit of fun if you're not in the thick of it in your campaign. Maybe you have some downtime. Your characters have split up. Maybe there's a level in between that you guys are kind of trying to burn a little bit of time. It's something you can do, right? But when you first take the spell, it automatically gives you 2 permanent circles to know. So you don't actually have to build these right up from the bat. You don't need that time. So you have 2 different options of being able to teleport to. And these 2 permanent circles are usually around, hotspot, hub kind of places. Big cities like Waterdeep, maybe some sort of religious temple, a place of deity worship, that kind of a thing. Places where a lot of people would be, or maybe a lot of mages would be practicing their magic.
Do you think that the game assumes that you studied some circles before you got it? Like, say you can only learn the spell if you've been around a teleportation circle, and that's why you know 2?
That could definitely work. I also like the idea that you've been wanting to teleport for a while, so you've been jotting down where you've been. Maybe you have a map.
That's what I mean, though. Like, if you don't know 2 circles, can you actually use are you just going to get 2 out of nowhere if you've never seen a teleportation circle before?
Yeah, that's sort of my issue with that ruling of, or that explicit writing in the spell's text. Is it makes sense that a wizard would naturally be able to surmise at least 2 just on their own through study, because these things exist in written word, and that's how the wizard gets their spells is through study. But yeah, you're telling me that Chad, sorcerer, who just naturally gets their spells, wakes up one day and realizes, oh, I can teleport here.
Yeah, bro. I'm like headed to the yawning portal right now, man. Okay, here we go. And 1, 2, 3, and I'm here, bros.
Exactly. Yeah, that doesn't make as much sense to me. I mean, for the bard as well, there has to be some source of it. I mean, obviously, just work with your DM to figure out a way for it to make sense if you really want to take the spell. But yeah, there's got to be some other element to it. And if you're a sorcerer, you get your magic from somewhere too. So maybe there's an element of, oh, I'm the aberrant sorcerer, and I saw in the stars one night there was some element that looked like a teleportation circle or something.
I think it's not unreasonable to take the spell. I'm just saying I would probably just not give you 2 free addresses. Like I call them addresses. I don't know if that's what I go by whenever we're in the game. I'm like, okay, do you have the teleportation circle address? Because you're basically have to draw a specific kind of circle. And like what Hakili did, before he took the spell, is he was already jotting down everyone he saw because he knew he wanted to take that spell in the future. And Hakili himself was like, I would like to be able to like fast travel to like teleport places, so I'm going to be in charge of taking care of this. And him as a character knew that already. So I don't see that as a problem when it comes to like sorcerers and bards. Yeah, I just think that we probably do it the way that I already table rule it, which is, yeah, you just have to see one. Like, you have to see it, and if you've seen it and you jot it down and you make note of that somewhere, then that that address, then sure, I'm gonna let you teleport there. Like, you guys going to Moongleam Tower was like, okay, you've seen the address now. Now, from now on, you can now teleport there. Or the one that you saw in Avernus. Okay, I've seen that. I can now go there whenever I want.
That's fair. I don't find it too far-fetched or hard to work in if someone were to take this, just because I think to get a 5th level spell, you have to be a minimum, as a full caster, of 9th level at this point, to which 9th level, I feel like you've probably seen a couple sigils. You've at least been in the area where they would be. You've probably maybe overheard someone talking about where it might be, to which case you could probably, I don't know, maybe draw the symbol of the town or something along those lines that it would teleport you to that type of sigil. I don't know. I think you can work with it.
Oh yeah, if you made a weird educated guess, I might just teleport you somewhere random. If you were like, if you described to me kind of what you draw, and I'd be like, okay, here's where you are. And it ends up being like 60, 70 miles away from your destination, but someone did draw that teleportation circle. Here it is, 70 miles underground.
Oh no. I do want to bring up one last part about teleportation circles. There is a 50 gold fee to do it.
Yuck.
But be perfectly honest, I know there's a lot of spells out there that people won't cast because they cost gold or they have, rather high resource needs. I think 50 gold is perfectly reasonable for teleporting somewhere. I think it's totally fine. I have never had a problem spending this money. I've spent this money a few times in our past campaign. I think it's very perfectly reasonable and cheap.
Now, we can't talk about 5th level spells without talking about the perfect Pokemon full heal of D&D, and that is Greater Restoration. Ooh. I mean, you've got an ailment, you've got something on you, you've got something happening to you that's a little bit fishy and definitely not a curse. Greater Restoration is going to solve it for you. I don't care what it is. You're missing 50 hit points and it's not a curse. Greater Restoration. They're back. If you're feeling a little under the weather, you woke up this morning, oh man, I've got a bad disease. Okay, Greater Restoration. Boom, solve. You're done. Anything that's like afflicting you outside of exactly that, curses, Greater Restoration's probably got it handled. And overall, I think it's a spell that everybody knows they should take, but nobody really wants to take. You know what I mean? You hope that none of those things are going to happen to you because you really want to put another 5th level spell on that list, but you need Greater Restoration because, of course, it's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, what's interesting to me about Greater Restoration is in the spell's wording, it's pretty explicit about like the level of things that it can do, but there are a lot of written materials elsewhere where they say, oh, well, Greater Restoration can fix this too.
Right.
Like insanity and, the deep curses. I mean, I guess Greater Restoration does end curses to a degree,
and it
as
cures
well.
feeble mind, so insanity is not that far-fetched.
Yeah. But it really is the catch-all of if there's an affliction that's affecting you, and it's not like a 9th level like Gesh spell or something, then Greater Restoration's probably got you covered. Speaking of Gesh, I guess we'll mention that one soon. I don't know how common it is, but it's
I
definitely,
don't even know what it does.
It's another very in the same vein as Dominate Person. It's a very good evil, or honestly like a good quest starting spell. So casting
Wait,
time is.
I want to first before we move on to that. Can I hear Drew's thoughts on Greater Restoration?
Oh yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. I want to blow over that just for a second. Did you call it Gesh? Is that what you said?
That's how it's pronounced.
It's not pronounced Gios.
I always thought it was Gaius. Always thought it was Gaius.
I always thought it was Gios.
No, yeah. Apparently, it's an Irish word.
Oh, I'm kind of mind blown right now because
Shoosh.
I've always
It's
seen it
pronounced
as that one
zhoosh.
spell. I'll read it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then completely forget about it. I've seen it a number of times in the book.
Cool.
Any thoughts about Greater Restoration before I tell us what Gesh does?
Oh, nothing too crazy. It's a cleric spell, so obviously it's one of the best spells in the entire game. But it's cool. I think everyone should have it. If you're a druid or a cleric, I think maybe paladins get it at a high level.
Doesn't matter. It's too high level. Like you've already got someone to do Greater Restoration by that point.
It's great. It's super cool. If you really want it, to be perfectly honest, be a life cleric because it's one of their domain spells, and then you can pick some cooler spells to have on the side. That's all.
It's a good call. Gesh. This spell, it's like Dominate Person, but it's more of like a employee boss sort of situation. So you place a magical command on a creature that you can see within range, 60 feet. Forcing it to carry out some service or refrain from some action or course of activity as you decide. This is the villain that says, okay, well, I want you to go as far away from me as possible. That's it. That's all that they have to say. But then you make a wisdom save versus the spell or become charmed. While they're charmed, a creature takes 5d10 psychic damage each time it acts in a manner directly counter to your instructions, but no more than once a day. Each creature that can't understand you, or a creature that can't understand you, is unaffected by the spell. You can issue any command you choose, short of an activity that would result in certain death. Should you issue a suicidal command, the spell ends. You can end the spell early with a remove curse, or Greater Restoration, or a wish.
Now that I've heard the description for this, I can only imagine someone running up on your level 9 wizard at full speed. Let's say it's a Hezro is running up on your level 9 wizard full speed, ready to pounce, and he goes Gesh, and then all of a sudden issues a command and sends him the other direction. Just that moment of like Shaggy standing there, Gesh, is just stuck in my head.
I feel like that's got to be a component of the spell, saying the actual spell name. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it can't go off.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the spell. It's just you say it's like a Harry Potter word, like a dark art spell.
Yeah, it really is it is a dark art spell. And if you cast it, you can upcast it, increasing the duration. By default, it lasts for 30 days. So for 30 days, someone has to carry out your commands. If you cast it at 9th level, it lasts until it is ended by remove curse, Greater Restoration, or wish. But it's a great way to build out. Say, what if we've got like a paladin that's working for the villain, and they don't seem like a bad guy, or like any good aligned character. That this is a great way to like flesh out a villain. You're like, why are you doing this? I have to, otherwise.
I like the idea that it binds adventurers. So the adventurers are on some quest to stop, a lich or some grand mage from doing something, but Gesh was cast on them previously. So every day they have to choose their wording correctly. Otherwise, they're going counterintuitively to the mage, and they end up taking that, what did you say, like 6d10 psychic or something like that?
Yeah, 5d10.
5d10s. That's a lot of damage to take just once a day at any given moment, Especially if you're bound for 30 days.
Yeah, and this is, if you want to be a real dick about it, this is a spell that you could cast as a DM on like a low-level party, and then it's like dire. You follow these instructions or you die.
I feel like that's how you control a town as a supervillain, right? You just cast Gesh on a majority of the citizens or a bunch of the leaders, and you have them controlled because they
The
can't
mayor's
disobey
being
you.
really mean lately. He has a Gesh spell on him, I hear.
Oh, could you imagine though? Like, what if Gesh gets like passed down, to like a whole town?
That's so cool.
Like they're all under the thrall of this villain, but then like we're generations later. Everyone just sort of knows that you have to do this or you die. But then
It's like the golden rule.
yeah, exactly. But then there's the adventuring party comes in. They're like, hey, let's freedom fighters. We're gonna rebel against the villain. You don't have to do what they say. You convince them. You roll a very nice persuasion check, and then everyone dies.
Oh no!
And we've just written your 1 to 5 for you. You're welcome. Now,
What
guys,
a compelling villain who casts Gesh, though. That's all I'm saying.
we are running a little high on time, so I propose we go to one more spell. And I would like you guys to choose between them because I haven't actually chosen exactly which one I want to cover.
So
now-
we haven't even mentioned our favorite spells. Have we already mentioned your guys's? Because we haven't mentioned.
Oh,
mine.
mine's Bigby's hand by far. Oh!
There's a ghost in the
wow.
room.
Yeah,
Ooh, there's a
definitely
ghost
There's a
behind me.
ghost in the room.
I have no idea what that was.
Gesh!
Gesh!
Something fell behind Zach, guys. That's what we're yelling about.
It was pretty creepy though. I don't know if I have necessarily like a favorite spell that falls into the 5th level category. My personal favorite one that I believe is 5th level, unless I'm mistaken, in this category would be Wall of Force. Wall of Force is pretty legit. It's not frequently cast at all, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best spell ever, but it's really, really cool. Very situational, which is my ideal kind of spell. That one playmaker spell that changes the way the battlefield works, that completely flips the tide of battle in the middle of combat, right? So Wall of Force, you get a big area, and I could read the exact spell if you like, but it gives you a big area that you could make just an invisible wall of force that cannot be destroyed except for a disintegrate spell. So you could just wrap it around somebody, a group of people. You could make a small maze with it, and they can't see it because it's literally transparent. So there's this invisible wall in front of you that you cannot penetrate. You can teleport through it, but if people don't know it's there until they bonk into it, or they're just
Like
a regular
mime
old
in a box.
mime in a box, or they're just some regular old melee fighter, barbarian, fighter, monk, they're not going to be able to get through this wall. It pretty much shuts down a lot of classes, monsters, bosses. It's really, really sick. Definitely not the best by far, but very, very cool spell.
Yeah, so just to name off a few that we're not going to be able to get to, Cloud Kill is a very quintessential villain spell, definitely. We got to mention Far Step, which is like, an extended Misty Step that you can do every turn as a bonus action. Really cool. Flame Strike, it's like Fireball for clerics. They get it at 5th level. Shame
Let's
for them.
see. Tree Stride is a cool one. It's a teleportation spell through trees. It's used a lot in Critical Role, so that's why I had to mention it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of awesome spells here, too, that are specific to paladins and rangers. So, of course, Conjure Volley. I believe it's a 20-foot radius area, and you conjure a volley of arrows. It does 8d8 to all creatures in that area, I believe. There's Destructive Wave, which is just my favorite
Very
AoE
cool,
damage
very cool.
spell. It's the paladin. Or you can think about Elden Ring, Godric the Grafted. I command thee, kneel, and you smash the ground, and there's this holy energy that causes everyone to fall prone around you because you just got that mighty power.
Rory's Telepathic Bond and Modify Memory, both really cool ones. But I do want to get to one that I think is quintessential and or another one that I'm going to let you guys choose. We can either talk about 1, Mass Cure Wounds, or 2, Telekinesis. 2 that I feel like are very frequently cast. Like, I feel like they're pretty standard spells you see at a table a lot. But which one do you guys think is more frequently cast?
Mass Cure Wounds is Cure Wounds, but to a lot of people. Let's talk about Telekinesis.
Telekinesis is pretty rad. I like it a lot. I mean, it's literally how it sounds. You can pick things up, you can hold things, you can squeeze things, you can throw things, and they do have a certain weight limit, but it's basically like Super Mage Hand. I mean, there's other than that, it can be used on creatures and they have to make a check against it, but you could basically pick up and move someone around at your own free will. I mean, it's one of the coolest spells whenever it works. When it doesn't work, it's really upsetting and sad.
Yeah, but have you ever played Star Wars: The Force Unleashed?
Yes.
It's like that.
Yeah.
You pick up the guy, they're restrained, there's nothing they can do, and you throw them wherever you want.
Oh yeah.
It's friggin' sick. I know that was the last spell we wanted to talk about, but I have to mention my favorite 5th level spell because we haven't brought it up yet. And that's Conjure Elemental.
It's cool.
Which there are a ton of summoning spells that pop up, but what I really like about Conjure Elemental is I've used it to great effect. and so you summon a CR5 creature. It's a 5th level spell. That's an adequate pairing there. There are other conjuring spells that have all sorts of bad drawbacks, and the elemental or Conjure Elemental, if you lose concentration, it does act in a way that's according to its best interest. So if it wants to attack you, it will. But it's a much safer option with like a little bit of danger there. That really adds some nice flavor to it, as opposed to some of these other really shitty spells like Infernal Calling. It costs 999 gold to cast just for a devil to come and kill you. Like the devil does what it wants. It might act in a way to corrupt you and it'll help you or something, but it's a devil of CR6 or lower. That leaves you barbed devils, or the only CR6 devil you can summon is a white Abishai, which is honestly worse than a barbed devil. Terrible, terrible, terrible spell.
Oh, I like conjuration spells. I just don't feel like there's a whole lot good of them, you know?
Yeah, and you know what I learned today? Bigby's Hand, not a conjuration spell. For some reason, they listed it as evocation when you summon a big hand.
Well, you're not summoning a real hand, though. It's a spectral hand. So I see that as evocation in my head. Like, you're not summoning a hand. You're making a spectral, image of a hand that hits things.
But does conjuration mean that it has to be real?
Yeah,
No.
I would think so.
No,
wouldn't think
conjuration also just involves, teleporting and moving around.
Is teleportation a conjuration spell?
Yes, it is. And so is
Well, I guess
Misty
you're summoning
Step, Far
yourself
Step.
somewhere else, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe you do have to pull from something that actually exists for it to be conjuration. I guess I could get behind that.
Yeah, I can. That
reasoning.
makes sense to me. I feel like there has to be a physical thing involved for conjuration, and Bigby's hand isn't really a physical thing.
Well, maybe I'm summoning the hand of Bigsby, a giant.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Bigby's real hand.
And with that, thank you guys so much for listening to Table Talk Friday this week, where we talked about frequently cast and just some of our favorite 5th level spells. If you liked what you heard and you want to support the show, you can find us on patreon.com/Table Talk Friday, where we release episodes a week early for some patrons. We do a specific Patreon exclusive post show that we will be recording right after this episode. And we have a whole bunch of other cool patron exclusive stuff that you guys can check out. So check out patreon.com/Table Talk Friday, as well as if you'd like to write into the show, you can find us on tabletalkfriday@gmail.com. You can write in your questions, your comments, your concerns, any inquiries you have for the three of us. We are happy to look at them. Tell us about your favorite 5th level spells, or the ones that you see most frequently cast at your table that we didn't mention today and you're really upset about it. You can also find us on TikTok /@Table Talk Friday. You can find us on YouTube @Table Talk Friday, and you can find us on Twitter @Table Talk Friday. And with that, will the big Bigsby with his hands take us out?
Oh boy, it's me, Big Bigsby. I sure do love having two hands. Oh my God! That guy who always casts that spell that takes my hand away. He took it away. Oh no! Oh, this is terrible. Oh, I wish I were dead. I sure do wish I were dead. Oh, my hand is back. I sure am glad to have my hand back. Oh, you wanted me to sign off on the show. Go away.